this thing. Come on. Good. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get my mount right. But let me know. Hold on. All right. Nope. Hold on. See what happened when I be moving stuff around. All right. You may be straight. Almost. Hold on, y'all. All right, what's good, y'all? What's happening? I got to get my hand off this thing. All right, so what's goody, y'all? Can y'all hear me? Yo, Magneto Onyx was cracking. What's good with y'all? So we're gonna do a quick happy Sunday, everybody. Just a quick little Q&A real fast, a quick little session, quick little build real fast. You know what I mean? What's on your mind, man? What y'all got going on? What's good? I got some good news on my side. What up, Dawn? OG Bruce, what up? What y'all got new? I think I'm too close to this thing, man, but I ain't at my regular station. But what up, Marvin? What up? So anybody want to open up with something? Do you see who? Who do I see? Jackino 117. Who you asking me? Do I see? Space is intelligent. Oh, Chi. Prana. Yeah. You know, I think if you look, it got to be kind of like clear. But if you kind of, how can I explain it? It's kind of like staring off in space. Wherever you at, if you can just stare off, you start to see this dew. It's like these little bitty rain. It's like kind of like raindrops, but it's this dew. It's everywhere. So it's just kind of like you gotta, I don't know, unfocus your eyes or something a little bit and just kind of stare off. It's weird. It's hard to explain, but I can see it. You know what I mean? But it's something that I have to get into. So like a concentrated mode per se, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then it could be. So yeah, because it is. I mean, because everything is energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good deal. You know what I mean? That you can see that, man. That's what's up. Hey, Adrian, Nicole, what's happening? Patty K, what I'm gonna do? I'm a Cancer Sun, Virgo rising, and Moon here. Virgo rising, Cancer Sun. Do. Okay. What you want to do, Patty Cake? Patty K. I'm gonna start calling you Patty Cake. No, I'm just messing with you, Patty K. What you want to do? That's the question. You can do what you want to do. You do whatever you want to do in this reality. It's cool. Earth is the melting pot. Earth is the gumbo. Everything goes on Earth. You know what I mean? In Hebrew, they call Earth Malkuth, the kingdom, the place of activity, the place where you win. You know what I mean? So I would ask you what you want to do. Oh, happy birthday, Sullivan! And your birthday next. Next. I'm just messing with you, Patty. Next week coming up, man. That's dope. That's real dope. Feeling great, losing weight on this keto diet. Yeah, man. I tried keto when you ain't doing no carbs, man. That's what my fat boy need to get back on that. The moon was aligned with the planet within last week. Yeah, keto is dope, man. Cause carbs blow me up, man. Bread, man, bread is the devil for me. It's a wrap. I get swole, right? And so I tried keto before. I can dig it, man. No carbs. God is a sugar daddy because plants convert sunlight into sugar, photosynthesis, and we convert food over to sugar. God is a sugar daddy, because everything is about the pancreas and blood sugar levels, insulin and stuff, right? So this is why we get this expression on not Thanksgiving, on what's that, Valentine's Day, and you get these hearts and these sugars and whatnot, man. It's because sugar run the world. Sugar is energy. You know what I'm saying? So God is a sugar daddy in my book. Oh yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Definitely rest in peace, Kim Porter. You know what I'm saying? And I was just strictly looking through the lens of Puff Daddy, looking into his life and being able to see if we can see some type of correspondence. You know what I'm saying? So greatly good. That was definitely a nice video. Sag Sun, Gemini Rising. Sag Sun, Gemini Rising, man. Let me probably give you either a 7th house sun or a 6th house sun. A little bit of an oxymoron there, because Gemini and Sag are two energies that like to deal with freedom a little bit in relationships. So I just see that more of you got to have some type of freedom in relationships, and it's all about growing and learning, and those are the mental signs. The mental axis is Sag and Gemini. You know what I'm saying? And so then it's about a relationship that allows the freedom, but at the same time you need to be mentally stimulated. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I get with that, man. You know what I mean? Yep. Man, why ain't y'all come through the Hebrew class today, man? Y'all not interested in Hebrew? Huh? I ain't see y'all at the Karma webinar either. And that was like super duper $45, like cheap crackhead price to get that information. Like, that was a nice bill yesterday that we had. We talking about doing charts live, showing people the connections with whoever they had in question. A lot of people was bringing their significant others chart in there and whatnot. It was a great build session where you had a wife in there, and the husband, she was giving the husband's energy, and you can just see where the friction was at. She was in there in the chat just saying it too, as we nailing it and hitting it, like, she's confirming. And so it's very informative, man. When we do those webinars, man, y'all got to jump in these webinars, man, really get in them. But I got a surprise for y'all next month, on some whole other science. It's going to be dealing with, y'all ready? It's going to be dealing with the family and wealth. That's all I can tell you for right now. But real serious going into 2019, putting our, pedal to the metal, as we call it, and really focusing on creating wealth to go along with your spiritual knowledge, man. Y'all guys are smart, you know what I mean? But we get so smart that it's an extreme imbalance, right? It's like rich niggas don't necessarily have knowledge and information, and then the niggas who got the knowledge and the information don't necessarily have the money, right? And then, you know what I mean? It's just weird, man. It's this weird separation over here. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to help bridge the gap and get to the other side where we take the challenge, where we challenge ourselves to create financial wealth, um, to go along with the spiritual wealth that we all may have, man. So be on the lookout for that. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, Patty Cake, you moving? Where you moving to, Patty? Looks like Callie is dropping me. I need to move. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, the seven spiritual laws. Give them to me. Give me one. Which one? Because sometimes you see some offshoots of some things. But give me a spiritual law. What you mean? The Jizza said, living, professing niggas ass can't feed they. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we want to change that whole setup, the whole dichotomy, man. Um, the seven spiritual laws, character. No, so I'm not familiar with that one. Drop them for me, man. Give them to me. Give me all seven, man. Or give me your favorite ones. So the seven I'm used to deals more with mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. You know what I mean? But I'm not familiar with the ones that start with character. But you can give them to me. We can build on them. And why seven? You know what I'm saying? Why seven? Patty cake, patty cake. You don't know where you moving to? You're just blowing in the wind. Probably Texas in the future. Okay. 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 Where you want to move to? Go where you want to go. Go ahead and get it out the way. Go where you want to go, so you can get in your groove. You can get into your groove faster. You know what I'm saying? Dark skin Drizake, what up? So what y'all got on the Q&A, man? What y'all want to build on? Um, Trying to see if I can pull something off the shelf for y'all. What y'all want to build on? Still Scorpio season. It is. It is. It is. Still Scorpio season. I concur. It is. What y'all want to build on? Any Q? What you got for me? All right. All art is mental. So Leo, Diddy, Jupiter, and Sag. All right. So, all right. All art is mental. So August 15th. I don't have my computer up to pull up birthdays per se. So usually on Q&As, people just tell me something. They got something. They know something already. You know what I mean? I make you do a little bit of work when you say, hey, I'm a Leo, but I'm also a, you know, Scorpio rising. You know what I mean? So then, got to give me a spec. All right. So Adrian Nicole says Jupiter is in Sag. So we kind of touched on that, right? But Jupiter in Sag is it's back home. So Jupiter, the planet in the sky, just went back home. You know what I'm saying? Um, and hold on. Back then, I was born at 120. He charted me at 620. I'm gonna answer that question. Jupiter just went back home. Planet of abundance, the planet of prosperity, the planet of good luck. You know what I'm saying? Also justice and law, man. Jupiter represents law. So if you go back and you think about it, Jupiter just left out of. I don't like this thing being this close to me, man. It's bothering me. Hold on, man. You see, I got stuff packed up over there. Jupiter being the planet of law, truth, protection, even, When Jupiter was just in Scorpio for about a year, you saw all the Bill Cosbys, the Harvey Weinsteins, and stuff like that because Scorpio deals with sexual secrets, and then Jupiter represents that truth element, right? And law. So then it came through there. So now that Jupiter is back home, I think that we're going to see more of law, more of truth. This is also an excellent time for everyone to expand their mind. So this is more of because Jupiter is philosophy and the mental expansion, and so I see it more as more of a mental thing. However, this is where it gets a little personal at for us because, like, if you were born with something in Sagittarius, let's just say if you were born with, I don't know, Venus in Sagittarius, you know what I mean? Like, this would be really dope, really good, an excellent time to play the lottery. Relationships could be expanding. This is very, very favorable. Very favorable. I showed y'all in the video that Jay-Z and Beyonce have what we call the Jupiter Venus alignment. That is the billionaire alignment. When Puff Daddy was born, he was born with that. So when I showed that video yesterday on Kim Porter, and we got into Puff's chart, you would see that Jupiter and Venus were very, very close together in the perfect alignment when he was born. And truth be told, that is one of the billionaire markers. Okay. And so you have to have some planets in Sagittarius for this thing to take on a little bit of a different twist for you, where it's not necessarily all mental. Okay. And so I see it as something's going to expand for sure. So I was born with Venus, Uranus, and Pluto in my first house in Sag, right? And so with that Venus conjunction, see, this is going to be an excellent time where you can expand in relationships, you can expand financially. Uranus and Pluto are some big boys on the outskirts and more of a generational thing. But long as you're thinking outside of the box, um, not afraid to, go against the status quo per se. That's Uranus. Jupiter coming through the first house too can also, you can gain weight in the duration of this time. Usually a year on average, because Jupiter is big and the first house got this thing where it deals with self. So you could possibly gain weight. So you want to be careful on the foods and whatnot. So Katrina, a lot of us have Neptune and Sagittarius. This is about a 14-year group of people that has Neptune and Sag. And Neptune is spirituality, and then Sagittarius is philosophy. So to me, honestly, Neptune is kind of exalted inside of Sag because their energies are similar when you're dealing with philosophy, world travel, and studying different cultures. That's Sagittarius. And Neptune again dealing with this spiritual thing. So they're kind of hand in hand. And so when Jupiter conjuncts Neptune and Sag, we're going to start seeing potentially a lot of, this is a great guru marker. This is great spiritual truths being realized. You're having big dreams in a big way. Intuition is pouring in like crazy. And on the negative side, we'll start to see the Mac Miller effect. We'll start to see big overdoses because Neptune represents drugs and alcohol, and Jupiter does things in a big way, whether it's positive or negative. It just pours on whatever the other energy that's there. It's a magnifier in a sense. So we can see big drug addictions. We can see lies inside of government scandals type of thing because the Neptune is carries that energy of scandals and lies and stuff. Um, Mars, Sun, North Node, all in Sag in the 11th. All right, so for you, man, Johnny, I'm like that the classic saying of your net work is your net worth. The 11th house energy is all about social networking, it's technology. Mars, Sun, North Node, it represents passionate energy that's all about you also growing into your soul's mission, where it's about being a part of some type of social group that's about changing the world. The 11th house is Red Cross. It's the energy that deals with helping humanity. And long as humanity is progressing, it's all good. But it's also the area that deals with apps, technology. So you may have some type of idea on that side. If you do, you absolutely should explore it. And again, groups of people, friends are very important to who you are and your success. And so you should definitely strive to be in the right social gatherings. Your soul's mission is to learn how to do those things. That's what the North Node is over there, man. Neptune in the 12th is at home, so we're just going to give a double emphasis on spirituality, asylums, lockups. Neptune in the 12th. If you go to Astro and you see any red lines, hey, what's up? Any red lines going to Neptune, then you want to be clear of drugs and alcohol and things of that nature, because the 12th house and Neptune represents lockup, asylums. You know what I'm saying? Secret enemies and stuff. But on the highest side, that is definitely very, very, very psychic, very mystical. Psychic is an understatement, because it's truly what I call transcendental consciousness, where you have the ability to perceive information about our reality before it happens. And that's hella dope. There's like nothing to be played with. So therefore, Neptune in the 12th, to me, on the higher side, gives way to that. It's also very musical, very poetical, and it is a Erykah Badu marker. That's what it looks like. Erykah Badu. All right. What's happening? What's happening? Altoids, what's up? It's Mutilated Minds. I appreciate you, man. You're welcome, Katrina. Second, third, eighth, 12th house is empty. All right, so Jaquino, oh yeah, let me double back to you, because you said somebody rectified your chart. So if you are for certain that you know your birth time, you're like, it's a guarantee, your mama can verify it, a parent can verify it, along with the birth certificate verifies it. I personally do not subscribe to changing somebody's birth time. God damn it, that's when you were born. The umbilical cord was cut, and then you had to draw independent air at that time for yourself, and that becomes the activating ingredient for spirit, right? So I don't rock with that. However, I can understand making some adjustments if we want to look at what I call biorhythms, simply meaning things start to make a little. The whole purpose of somebody doing that anyway is to tweak the chart and move it so it can make sense. However, you should not negate the birth chart in itself. So I kind of understand it, because again, you can be born at a certain time, but let's just say, for lack of a better word, like me, I was left in a hospital when I was born. So let's just say I didn't get my stuff together and really kick in and say, okay, I'm here all the way, I'm ready, until XYZ time later, right? So I understand the purpose of it, but you should never, ever, ever negate the independent draw of breath, okay? And so I don't really subscribe to it too tough. I don't even do it, you know what I mean? Purple Star Goddess, what up? What up, what up, what up, what up? All right, and so stellums. So stellums are when you have 3 or more planets in either the same house or the same sign. Okay. Usually they were clustered up together. Really, not even necessarily the same sign, because you can have something at 28 degrees, 29 degrees, and then 0 degrees of the next sign, 1 degrees of the next sign. And all 4 of these planets are called a conjunction. They're tightly together. So the sign is irrelevant, because it can switch if you got them in the later degrees and the early degrees, like I just said. So it's really a swelling of 3 or more energies that are, it could be either A, closely compacted together, or they're in the same house. Okay. And so, like we said, I got 5 planets in the fifth house. So this is potentially you could have a lot of children, potentially, depending on what the planets are. If Saturn is one of them, then we can kind of dismiss that a little bit. But you could have a lot of children. Um, a lot of creativity without a shadow of a doubt, because the fifth house is creativity. So for me, it's simple. When you have a stellium, 3 or more planets in the same region of space, that region of space demands your attention more than anybody else. And so it is the fifth house. The fifth house wants to have your attention. So what is the fifth? The fifth becomes gambling, going to the casinos, knocking them out the park, always lucky, depending on what energies are in the fifth house, right? If you got Jupiter in the fifth, heck, you have Venus in the fifth, oh my God, you can always shake them up, and you will win, always, right? But if Saturn is there, it can slow it down a little bit. So, fifth house is just creativity, fun, romance, the theatrical play. It's Broadway. You know what I'm saying? It's learn. You know, it's that. It's theater. You know what I mean? And it's the house of God too. And the reason I call it that is because a key word that you can never underestimate with the fifth house is creativity. Um, so it becomes create what? Well, it's create whatever you want to create, because how do you limit creativity? You can't. So it becomes whatever your interest is. Oftentimes when you have a lot of energy there, what can happen is you're indecisive about what you want to do, because you got so much freaking creativity, you may think you all over the place. Well, you have to put on what I call the Jay-Z mindset. You got to put on your conglomerate mindset when that happens. You can own a Barclays Center. You can be into artist management. You can have a streaming company. You can have champagne. You can have a club. You can have a cognac. And you can have more ventures. You can do these things. It's just a matter of, are you sincerely going to do those things, and don't allow what we call your creativity to be the excuse of why we're not going to do it? Because a lot of us got a lot of creativity, but we think that, well, I'm just so scattered and I'm all over the place, then I just don't. No, 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 no. Stop playing. The thing is, you need teamwork, and you got to have the right team around you, of course. You know what I mean? Because we can't by ourselves. All right. Can you talk about duplicated houses? What you mean? What's a duplicated house? Answer that for me. Duplicated house. So then the water trine is dope, Katrina, because the water trine, what Katrina is saying, y'all, that um, the trine, you got a planet in Pisces, you got a planet in Scorpio, and then you got a planet over here in Cancer. And it forms this triangle, and it's called a water trine, grand water trine. And what happens is these 3 or more planets that are at these positions and these water signs are communicating to each other. And it's a real easy flow, because the trine represents an easy flow of energy. So then it's about water. Then what is water? Water got really just a few meanings. It's dreams and intuition, and it's music and whatnot. People with a grand water signs have that, what we would call that psychic ability. So therefore, when you have active water energy, you have to be careful on who you hang around, because you're able to pick up their energy and it would affect you. Because water is extremely magnetic, it has the ability to pull energy in. You see what I'm saying? And thus, you just getting on the sub, you come home, all of a sudden you're in a funky vibe. You don't know why. It's because the energy around you, you started to personalize and take in and whatnot. That's kind of like the downside of the water energy. But water is very nurturing, very intuitive, very dreamy. The dreams are really prophetic in a sense. And you are to cultivate music and imagination when you're dealing with water energy. All right. Um, yeah, you're welcome, man. You got it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, the birth time, to answer the question about the birth time, yeah, you need your birth time, but that's you putting in the information. Like, you can go to astro.com, it's free, put in your birthday, put in your time of birth, the city of birth, and then you're going to see the chart in whole, and then you be like, wait a minute, I see that I got 5 planets in the fifth house. because the time of your birth denotes where everything was. So like today, for example, it's, it's the evening time. The sun may be in the western portion of the sky, but earlier today, the sun was in the east. And so that's totally different. Although the day is the same day, but being born when the sun is in the west or the sun is in the east, that's two totally different things, and it starts to give way to different options in our life. Although born on the same day, our realities would be very, very, very different based upon the region of space or where the planets were at. Because that's all the house is. It's the region of space of where the planet was. All right. So like the fourth and fifth house, both in Taurus versus. All right. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to happen. This is not even house astrology. So therefore, you're going to have a zodiac sign. Two signs are going to be in one house. That's going to happen. However, only one sign is going to rule the house, though. And so, that's how you get around that when you look at it. You know what I mean? No matter what, that line, that house number is going to fall on one zodiac sign. It can't fall on both. So hypothetically speaking, let's say my second house, my money house, it starts at 29 degrees Leo. But majority of my second house is Virgo, because 29 Leo is the last degree. 29 is the last degree of any sign. So then majority of the second house is Virgo, but only 1 degree is Leo, and it actually falls on Leo. And so then it still means that Leo is my financial ruler and not Virgo, although Virgo is the majority of that second house. So pay attention to the actual sign that that house falls on, because that sign shows you who is sort of the landlord of that area. Okay? And you absolutely need your time of birth to get that for sure. All right. Yeah. So yeah, Katrina, people surrounding you and get you, man. Get you. That's you though, Katrina, sucking on people's energy and taking people's energy because the water sign is pulling it. I'm just messing with you. Moon trine Pluto. Pluto represents power and transformation. Um, Pluto got a lot of things with it, man. Hidden secrets, deep abyss. Um, it's very deep, man. It's hidden stuff. Pluto deal with the sewers and septic systems, so it's things that is hidden. Trine the moon, the moon is this woman. It's our emotional self as well. So that's a very favorable placement where potentially you could be in a nice relationship with a powerful woman, potentially, or your own emotions and the moon also deals with the psychic self as well. So Pluto likes to give power to these things. So your moon is getting a swelling of nice supportive energy from Pluto, and hopefully it's the higher aspects of it because of the trine and whatnot. I'll be curious to know what sign is the moon in, JC. That'll give us a little bit more clarity on how to have all that power. You know what I mean? Is my camera blurring? Cut it out. All right. What else y'all got, man? What else you got? Keep them coming. Keep them coming. What you got for me? Let me see. Mars and Cancer. Traditionally speaking, that placement has been, that's more of a weaker position of Mars. It could be fighting family members of your family want to fight you, or you fight family members. Um, I think Mars is not as aggressive over here, and I kind of like that because its energy could be very deadly, as you know. Um, but on a personal level, it's you having the ability to be passionate about your own family members and being that driving force, the accelerator. Mars is the accelerator behind family, whether it be your own individual family in your household or whether it be mom and dad type family members and whatnot. But Cancer is family and nurturing ability, and Mars just wants to accelerate whatever that is. Wherever it's at, it just wants to burn it fast and give it to you real fast. So on the negative side, watch out for fights and quarrels with families. On the positive side, be the accelerating force that push your family into the family hustle. What is the family hustle? We're gonna talk about that next month when we switch gears a little bit. I'm gonna jump in my prosperity investment group bag, really about the family and wealth and setting that paradigm up. Mars and Cat is considered to be exalted. It is said to be a very strong placement. Capricorn is all about success, climbing the mountaintop. It's the billy goat that climbs the mountaintop one step at a time and gets to the tip top of the mountain. Mars and Capricorn, rather, is said to be at pretty strong here. Exalted is the term that they use. And so this should give you a very strong ambition to want to succeed in life and, be successful and, ambition and all that good stuff. And worst case scenario, you could fight with authoritative figures because Capricorn is authoritative figures. It's usually a man, so it could be father, and it also could be police, military, government type of official. And so you got to be careful with Mars and Capricorn that you don't, not that you a chump, you know what I mean, but you want to be careful on how you deal with people in quote unquote authoritative positions and whatnot, because there could be some form of combat that comes out of that situation and whatnot. But on the high side, man, it's a very ambitious marker. I'm a very big fan of Capricorn. And without a shadow of a doubt, I always say it. I think the absolute best personification of Capricorn energy goes to Keisha Kayor, Gucci Man's wife. Yeah, and I'm just like flabbergasted and out of admiration to see, man, to see someone build a brand from the ground up, from nothing, and never stop. And even when her man's locked up, it was getting the house built from scratch while he was gone, and even being able to take his money, as she say, and put it in other things and separate from her own money, and keeping it totally separate from her own, doing her own thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just dope to me, man. So anyway, that's Capricorn, Mars, and Cap. Um, what moon opposite sun? So moon opposite the sun, right? I'll get with you in a second, Marcus. Moon opposite the sun could definitely represent a male female imbalance. So you got to be careful with that because that will mean you're a full moon baby, possibly even a lunar eclipse baby, which is just a stronger emphasis on the full moon, because the sun and moon are at odds with each other. But it's really supposed to represent balance. It's supposed to represent someone who is bringing the other piece of the puzzle to the table, and together y'all locked in and you know where you're going. And so if you're a male, it don't matter. Balance the other energy out, the female energy out if you're a man. If you're in a heterosexual relationship, then balance the male energy out if you're a woman and whatnot. Where's Bruce? So yeah, you want to balance the male female energies and whatnot, because that could represent a conflict. And then that also potentially could say that mom and dad wasn't in the best of moods at the time of conception. And so you may have basically inherited their cosmic DNA where your male and female energies are a little off centered and you have to work on balancing those. The key to the balance of those things is congruency. What things are congruent with you, in agreement. When you are deciding to do the DJ Khaled, be happy, and Lil Duval, live your best life in happiness and whatnot. You start to obviously broadcast a higher vibration signal, and now you're starting to get the best things that come as a reward of that. So now when these rough transits come along, you're not necessarily having these accidents and these hiccups and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think DJ Khaled is a perfect example of what to do down here on the earth plane and live happiness and love all the time, because you never see, and it's not that they don't exist, but you never see no beef, you never see no fights, you never see no quarrels. Although he did get in a little accident on his way to Puppy's house on that jet ski, and I had to, show him what happened when he bloodied up his leg and whatnot. But everybody's a work in progress, man. But that's what I think about that one. Um, who was that had something for me? Hold on, Johnny. That's a good question. I think it was Marcus. Yeah, second house Pluto and Sag, trine Moon and Leo in the 10th. Moon and Leo in the 10th. Um, that's a woman that's successful. Um, very successful, a boss type of woman. You're looking for an ambitious woman, a powerful woman. And Pluto in the second house gives powerful finances and whatnot. And so the moon in the 10th could mean you attracted to women that's in authoritative positions. You probably like women that's CEO and bosses, right? And trine Pluto is sex and partnership when Pluto rules Scorpio. So you want to really be in a relationship with someone who can hold their own when it comes to their success and whatnot. And finances is very important as it pertains to your relationships, Marcus. For sure, bro. All right. Sun opposite Pluto could be I don't like that marker. That's very strong. Could be enemies. It could be, you know, confrontations with a masculine force, manipulation even. You can do those things, or people can do those things towards you. The high side of that will really be don't trip. And shit, man, that's almost like one of those markers where you abused your power. That's an abuse of power marker right there. So just be sure that you're not abusing your power in this cycle. Pluto, the part of Pluto, plays these games where it's subtle power control and manipulation. So I always get the example. And I had told this one guy who I read this week, and he bust out laughing because literally what I'm about to tell you, because I always get this example, he just did it, right? He was cracking up. What happens is with Pluto's involved, um, you can get into an argument and you always put gas in your girl's car. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? You fill your girl's car up and shit. And since y'all ain't talking or she made you mad, you ain't gonna put no gas in the car because you know that's gonna force her to have to come to you. And that puts you in that superior position per se. So Pluto plays these little games like that, or she ain't gonna wash the clothes and she gonna have you do it because it's just Pluto shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So we go through that shit, man. That's Pluto. So it's power tripping, man. Just make sure you don't participate in the petty power trips. You know what I'm saying? Within yourself. South Node and Jimmy in the fifth house is that past life karma. Yeah. So in the past life and Jimmy, you're in the fifth house. So that ain't bad though, man. South Node and Jimmy is more or less a person who loves to talk, communicate, and was communicating with children, are very creative. All right, man. I don't know what happened. I hit something. I'm not sure I'll do that again. So, all right, my bad. What is that? 50? All right, my bad. That ain't bad, man. That's not necessarily a bad thing at all. North Node in the 12th, man. North Node in the 12th, you definitely here to learn how to become more spiritual. It can also have something to do with being a part of some type of hospice situation, hospitals, and things like that. But you're here to definitely grow into your more of your spiritual side, your intuitive side, dreams, intuitions, and start. You absolutely are one of those people that should take retreats and go off into silence and sit with yourself and do silent retreats and really do a lot of inner reflecting when you have the North Node in the 12th house. It demands that you do that for your soul's evolution. For sure. Because that means the South Node, you was a workaholic. You probably worked so hard that you neglected spiritual cultivation. All right. So having Regulus in the sun, Regulus in the sun, if they're close together, 29 degrees, well now 0 degrees Virgo, 29 degrees Leo, very close to those. That's powerful. Regulus is regulators mount up. Like I did a video on Warren G and Nate Dogg, and they did that regulators mount up, and it was literally born with energy right by Regulus. You got to check that video out, man. It's dope. Um, Regulus is known as the little ruler, and it's actually a part of Benjamin Banneker's grand design for Washington, D.C., known as the Federal Triangle. The Federal Triangle consists of three buildings that form a right angle triangle, which are the U.S. Capitol building, the Washington Monument, and the White House, and they will form a triangle. And Regulus corresponds to the location of the U.S. Capitol building where they make the laws at. And, you know, Regulus is the little king and whatnot. So, energy here, if you're born with energy close to Regulus, then this is your crown. This gives you more power for you to step your game up and really be an authoritative person inside of your respective field of study. That's Sun on Regulus. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, Marcus. All right. So Jupiter square Uranus could give ways to sudden flashes of luck. You know what I mean? Jupiter is a luck, Uranus is sudden flashes. Both of them are heavy, heavy, heavy freedom fighters. Uranus is freedom and Jupiter wants freedom too. So you can never really put yourself in a situation that suppresses you in any shape, form, or fashion, whether it's relationships or whether it's a job. Don't put yourself in any kind of situation that suppresses you, because then that square is just a mirror of your own internal psychological process that says you get quickly agitated when you can't express these things. That's what the squares and oppositions are. They give us insight about agitations that we have, that we perceive. Okay? So, Jupiter square Venus could be, so Jupiter square Uranus could also be, like I said, sudden flashes of luck. Money is up, you can win, and all of a sudden you can lose as well. So it kind of depends where they're placed at. But on the high side, I think it's about freedom, being unconventional, and definitely expanding the minds and helping people. It's a great teacher thing about humanity and whatnot. Teaching humanity about humanity. So Saturn square Venus, Uranus. I'm dyslexic today, man. Saturn square Uranus. Uranus wants to say, hey man, I want to think outside of the box, and Saturn is like, yo, don't go crazy. So I think this is a nice balance, although it's a square. I'm going with that one. Because Saturn represents consistency and stabilization, and Uranus sometimes is, checking, like you'll be walking around bald headed with a hairline. Literally, all your hair is bald, but you got hair around you. You just, it's different. It's a little Uzi Vert. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's somebody that dares to be drastically different. It's Uranus and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that, because Uranus is the genius. But the Saturn square is going to stabilize you and make you be a little bit more practical in your approach and whatnot. So you got a delicate balance of being free, but at the same time too being repetitive. The Saturn represents repetition. Repetitive in your approach. Saturn don't want you to take no shortcuts and be consistent. But Uranus don't like suppression and old stuff. So it's a part of you that needs to be able to be free to do your thing, and then you need to bring those Saturn principles inside of the free of doing your thing so you can become successful, because that's another key word of Saturn. All right. So Saturn trying to Menhaven is just simply saying, hey, I support you the best way possible for you to materialize your career ambitions and goals. The best way possible, we can make this thing crystallize for you. But you have to put that work in, because Saturn's energy represents work. It don't represent meditation and daydream, it represents work. Okay? And so Saturn trying to Menhaven gives you an excellent easy access for you to bring down your biggest ambitions. All right. What else y'all got? Boy, y'all on fire up in this chat today. Y'all got some, but I love it because y'all grown, man. You know, you got to a point where you clearly understand that there's some type of cosmic correspondence that takes place with the decisions that you make. But we gotta go another step, y'all. We gotta go another step. So what you got? Keep them coming. What's for Sunday dinner? Oh yeah, we having turkey burgers. So if you got one, you can ask another one. Oh, Venus and Scorpio, man. I'm not a fan of Venus and Scorpio like that. I got mixed feelings, right? So, traditionally speaking, Venus and Scorpio is considered to be out of pocket, right? Um, um, Scorpio's energy could be either I'm gonna turn off, it ain't gonna be nothing, or I'm gonna turn on and it's gonna be everything. So it's the energy of extremes. Okay. So Venus in Scorpio definitely gives way to a crazy investigative nature. It is it's Venus and Scorpio. Remember the old school show Cheaters? And they pop up on you with the hidden cameras and shit. Like that's Venus and Scorpio, right? Um But Venus deals with money at times when it's coming from Taurus, and then Scorpio. I take my son coat off. And then Scorpio deals with joint finances, so it has a financial twist to it. Um, I would definitely say your partner, because Venus is partnerships and Scorpio is joint finances. You got to make sure that your partner is on their financial game for sure. You know what I'm saying? Or your partner could struggle because Venus is considered to be in detriment over here, and your partner could struggle financially with Venus and Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta teamwork is going to help make that better. Uh, that's why I'm adamant about, man, like we got to increase our financial IQ around this joint, like ASAP, like Rocky, for real. But Venus and Scorpio is cool. It's cool. But I would say it's more partnerships and money that's pointing to. All right. What else y'all got? Man, it's almost been an hour already. So what you got? Come on, come on, come on, shoot it to me. What y'all got? All right, so Venus in the eighth is the same thing. Venus in the eighth is the exact same thing as Venus in Scorpio, because Scorpio is the eighth sign, so it's the same definition. Moon trine Neptune, Moon square Mercury. All right, so Moon trine Neptune gives way to nice dreams, intuition, psychic faculties. I like it. I like it. I like it. Square Mercury, though, potentially that could be somebody's lying, or you got to watch that, because then if it's, well, Moon square Mercury could be a woman that's lying. Moon in the second house, somebody lying about your money. So be careful with Neptune on any angle, because Neptune energy is the trickster. And just because the angle is supportive, the trine, the conjunction, its energy could easily get you now. So you gotta be careful with that. But that, I think that represents, it's more of an intuitive thing and developing that psychic sixth sense. And it's also more of a spiritual relationship with a woman at the same time, having some financial bearings, because the second house is the money house and the moon is the woman. And then Neptune and the moon is spirituality and the six senses. So you just put them all together. You just, all this stuff is just this one plus this one equals both of them. That's all. All right. Sun Charm Moon is dope. It's great. I mean, the male and female energies are coherent. They're probably in the same element. Because a trine, depending on the degree, but usually the planets are in signs that rock with each other. So fire on fire, air on air, earth on earth, water on water. And so your male female energies is flowing. So that could be pretty cool. So Venus in Virgo in the 11th, Venus sextile Neptune in Aquarius in the 4th. All right. And so if Neptune is in the 4th, you're going to have spiritual ancestors that speak to you. And if it's doing what, sextiling Virgo, Venus over there. So it could be a woman. Wait a minute. The 11th to the 4th don't sextile each other. That's not true. Virgo in the 11th. Venus sextile, unless Venus is not in Virgo. But anyway, Neptune in the 4th gives way to spiritual family. I would definitely give you a pass and say that you could do what we call ancestral homage and worship. You set up an altar for ancestors and things like that. It's easily for you to get that kind of communication. The highest sense, you could be a channeler of the dead, especially family members, okay? On one note. The second note could represent lying, deceiving ass family members. Is another note, okay? Those are just the extremes. I like to go to the extremes of both sides so you can make a choice. Venus in the 11th, if you do have Venus in the 11th, then that's going to be about relationships and friends. And your relationship absolutely should be, if it's a personal relationship, it absolutely should be with someone who you consider a friend. All right. That's Venus in the 11th. Yeah, in Aquarius and Neptune in the 4th. Right? Yeah. Take a few more. It's almost been an hour already. What's that? What's that? Oranges? Chips? Chips. Oh man, that's fat, sweet and salt, sugar and salt. Jupiter and Cap. Jupiter and Capricorn, big work, big career, big success. 7th house, big relationships, multiple relationships. Jupiter is plenty. 7th house is love. I mean, relationships. So Jupiter in the 7th could give the person abundant relationships or an abundant relationship. One is plural, meaning you've got married a few times, or you polygamous, polyandrous or something, or your relationship is abundant and big. Really think big here. With Jupiter in the 7th, this gives way to great relationships, man. But they must be career orientated because of the Capricorn below wants that success. All right. So it got a little working nature to it. A little bit of work to it. All right. And take another one. What you got? What you got? Take one more. One more. And y'all gotta mark y'all calendars too. Okay, Garden Star Seed. You have to take mark y'all calendars for December the 19th. But I'm gonna do a free webinar. Absolutely free. And I'll tell you when on that one. But I'm gonna do a free webinar. If you're not on the mailing list, join my mailing list, man. Just slip in. You get to it. myastrologycoach.com. myastrologycoach.com. Get on the mailing list. So that way you can stay abreast to when I'm doing these free webinars. All right. So Aquarius Sun in the 6th. Uranus and Scorpio in the 4th. What year are you born? Star Seed. Garnet Star Seed. What year are you born? You gotta be in the 70s or early 80s. See, 76. All right, the spirit of 76. So Aquarius Sun, I got that. And I got Uranus and Scorpio. But I don't have a 6th house sun. All right, so this is what you're working with here. Are they squaring each other? Aquarius Sun. What degree is your sun? What degree will your sun be? You're gonna be around like man, 8s or 10s. What degree is your sun, Garnet Star Seed? 1 degree? Oh, you a baby Aquarius. Oh, look what you look so cute. You just became an Aquarius. Now I'm messing with you. All right, so Aquarius in the 6th. So remember, Aquarius is the weirdo, the one that thinks different, the one that's the radical. But it's also Bob Marley, it's Huey P. Newton, it's Abraham Lincoln, it's the greatest freedom fighters of the world, man. And the 6th house is work. And so Aquarius deals with technology too. So in electricity, you could be an electrician. It also deals with healing, the 6th house. And then Aquarius is unorthodox. So then if you do have aptitude towards healing, then it's going to be unconventional. It's not going to be the standard, right? If you do have the aptitude towards learning, I would, see you a nurse. So, right, because that's the 6th house placement. So you could use somehow, some way, you can use electrical currents to heal people. And the body is electric. But I would challenge you to study what appears to be some unconventional way of healing. The only reason you're a nurse is because 2 reasons. 1, it is the norm. But the real reason that you're a nurse is because you had to go through that school of thought first to understand the basic modalities of healing. But if you're going to continue, you're going to have to go get some, what we would call, more unconventional ways of healing that's going to prove to be very therapeutic and helpful. All right. That square Uranus, if it's a square to Uranus, that's Uranus poking you at the side, and because that rules Aquarius, and he's like, girl, I need you to think different. I need you to go out on a limb. I need you to be a weirdo. Uranus in the 4th could give you sudden flashes of family energy too. You can work in hospice and help people. Because see, watch this. Scorpio is death. The 4th house is ancestors. I would not be surprised if you had sudden flashes of intuition that working in a nursing home, that you can probably see, sense, feel. The person that's passing, their deceased loved ones could be communicating to you some shape, form, or fashion. I think Reiki's a start, but I think it's going to be something different. It's going to be something that's past Reiki. But it's going to be whatever you put your energy into and that you like. That's for sure. And whatnot. But you could be a channel for energy and helping people cross over and helping people heal as well. So that's a very deep marker. John Spears, I can't say the path. Here's the thing with that question. What's my path? The chart give you options, and some options are just a little bit more clear, and some may come with a little bit more obstacles. And I believe at some point in time, our paths evolve, right? As we grow. So one moment you got a path that, you a rapper, and you Jay, you good, you great. And then there's a part of you too that shit that got, a hell of a business acumen. So, not only that, now you got, all these different companies, and you do that too. Very good, And so we evolve, and the chart is just showing options. And that's a path, and it's a path, and that's a path. And it depends what you want to tap into. Like for me, like I can get into hypnosis and help people with the, understanding esoteric, what we call esoteric topics. I got an eighth house, three planets in the eighth house to deal with that. I'm a ninth house sun that deals with philosophy and teaching and stuff. So I can do that. And then there's this other marker where, Saturn in the second that wants to get serious about financial growth. And then in less than a year, you know what I mean, I'm able to accumulate very close to a million. It is actually $1.2 million in real estate holdings in a year's time. And do it make me a millionaire? No, but the goal is to be able to, if I could cash in and fix them and get the highest value for all of the properties and liquidate them at once, it would be there. Is that the profit margin? No, but my point is there's another option kicked in that said, wait a minute, there's another part of me that must also do XYZ so I can be complete. So the chart is showing you options, and you have a choice where you can make and say, hey, this is my path, but this is also a part of my path as well. All right. So yeah, you got it. Mutilated minds. That's what's up. So John, this is the thing. What people are doing, if you knew, you go to astro.com, right? And you create a free account, and people are already knowing that, hey, I see my birth chart when I was born, and I see that I have something here, and it's a little key at the bottom left, and it'll say sun, and you say, okay, this thing that's a circle with a circle inside of it, I see it's in the 11th house, but what is this circle with the circle in it? When you look down at the key, it say, oh, that's the sun. Oh, hey, okay, Anpu, hey, I got the sun in the 11th house. What's up with that, man? So then, see, people are already coming with preloaded information. So I'm not typing it in and looking it up, because that saves me from having to do that part. You do a little bit of homework yourself, bring the information. Once you got the information, we can kick it. And here's the thing, John, because I think you knew, subscribe. Definitely subscribe, hit the notification button, because when I come on live again and you come back with a spec, I'm making a mental note that I'm absolutely going to answer John Spears in the chat and let you know what you see, Noor, I see, she got the headphones on. I see you. Okay, come here for a minute. Can you close these blinds for me, please? Close these blinds for me, please. Gracias. All right. Yeah, so yeah, I got you, man. Just subscribe. Yeah, so Purple Star, you can go to astro.com. It's free. Free account. You can put like I think 100 people in there if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you sign up, put your birth information in there. And then when we do these, you can just come back with it like, hey, I got this here, I got this here. What's the opinion? You know what I mean? And I'll give you my hypothesis. It's worth something, man. I'm all right. I'm pretty all right with this thing. I've done this for many moons, man. Many moons. Many incarnations. Thank you. Many incarnations I've done this thing, man. Every time if I go get a reading from somebody, they'd be like, in a past life, he was a priest in Haiti. He was a mystic in Afghanistan. He was in the Temple of Luxor in Egypt. You know what I mean? My chart, I don't know, man. It's just, it's just one of those things that I choose to do when I come down here and incarnate. You know what I mean? From the Aquarius constellation, man. What can I say? We in the Aquarian age. I'm just trying to play my part and help and get back home to the light source and be what I am in purity, bliss. All right. So I'll take one more. Anybody got something? Mark out calendars. December 19th, something going down. Subscribe to the website, the newsletter, myastrologycoach.com. Drop your email off. Because I'm going to email something out. I'm going to do a free webinar in December. Absolutely free. You're going to get your shit together in 2019, man. I ain't playing. Self-sabotaging behavior has to go. It's a problem. It's a problem. And we hide behind spirituality so we don't have to be productive in the physical world. Alright? But I'm not going to point that out in this upcoming information. I'm just putting together something phenomenal. That's going to be a crazy networking opportunity. It's all about us making the pledge to become better in the realm of our finances so we can be successful and handle what we want to handle. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody else? Another one? You got a question? We'll give me the final questions of the day. We'll give me the final question of the day. Because I'm getting hungry. Fat boy's getting hungry. What you got? Final question of the day? Anybody? What you got for me? Saturn in Scorp. Woo-wee. Saturn in Scorp, man. Saturn in Scorpio. Pluto and Sag in 12th. Saturn in Scorp is, see, Saturn is responsibility. Scorpio is sex, so be responsible with sex. Saturn is karma. Scorpio is sex. Oh shit, you got sexual karma. So it could be, because Saturn is crystallization, so depending on what you got going on, it could be easy, or you may have had the experience of having an STD before. You know what I'm saying? You can verify that in the chat if you want to say that. You know, if not, that's cool too. If it can be off as well. So Saturn's energy, it could be from a karmic standpoint, but you are absolutely to be very responsible when it comes to sexual energy. Saturn likes to conserve. They don't like to give. This energy conserves. It can also represent being impotent, right? Because Saturn denies, and then it's denying the sexual energy and whatnot. I would strongly recommend you study either Tantra or study the Chinese arts of Taoism. Okay. I got something over here for you. I was gonna break it out on y'all, but I don't know, cause see, we like to go straight to certain stuff and skip other stuff, man. But Taoism, look into it. I also see this as being very successful in joint financial endeavors, because Scorpio is other people's money, teamwork, and Saturn is responsible. So I see this as being a very successful marker when it comes to joint financial ventures. Your father or the parent that is responsible for you, but it could be father. Father could die, and there could be some type of delay of you receiving an inheritance. So somebody could die and leave you money, but there's some type of obstacle, some type of delay for you to get it. So it's imperative that when it comes to life insurance policies and things of that nature, that you be on top of that kind of business and taking care of that kind of stuff. This is like, you can launch your own insurance firm type of energy. Like you could be, you know, your own insurance broker. So it demands that you step up on the financial level to the highest that you can possibly do. And that's what it represents, man. So you can go from sexual karma to that energy to learning about being better sexually, all the way up to being responsible and successful in joint financial ventures and whatnot. Pluto with Sag in the 12th, Bruce, man. That is going to be I like it. I mean, it gives way to some very powerful imaginational things, man. It's really more mental and spiritual than anything, but it also can represent dark secret enemies. And if you got any red lines when you go to Astro, if you got any red lines to Pluto coming out of your 12, then you absolutely have to watch for the secret enemies, especially as you're on your spiritual path. And so you can be going to like spiritual retreats and shit, and somebody would be hating on you, or even the teacher himself may not be the right teacher for you, and they will try to do something to stunt your growth if you got red lines going to Pluto in the 12th. So you got to be real careful with that, because that's dark secret enemies, that's black magic secret enemies, and you'll never see them coming. All right. Here go the last one. All right, so Leo moon, 10 moon, opposite Saturn. All right, so Leo moon, opposite Saturn. That's mommy and daddy. There's something going on with my dad. Um, I always ask people when we was into this last night in the webinar dealing with karma and past lives. What's the relationship like with mom and dad when you give it a grade A, B, C, D, or F? You know what I mean? If those areas of your life can use some improvement, then I would recommend improving those relationships. Even if they pass, you can mentally improve the relationship. It's a technique we give. It's in-house stuff that we can work with if that resonates with you and something needs to be done as it pertains to, um, um, the parents and whatnot. Um, the high side of that energy is balancing success, ambition inside of something dealing with a woman in your own emotional state. The moon and Venus for a man shows us to a degree, not even to a degree, what we're looking for from a woman. And ladies, Mars and the sun is going to tell us what you're looking for from or in a man. All right. So check your parental energy, man, and then check your relationship energy of what your values are when it comes to a woman and hard work and success and whatnot. Do you want a housewife and that's cool with you, or do you really want somebody that can participate and get busy, or do you want the mixture? You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be clear on what it is that you want from that female source of energy, man. All right. All right, man. So I'll get with y'all later, man. I appreciate y'all on the quick build again. If you new, go to the website, myastrologycoach.com, myastrologycoach.com. Sign up on the email list. I give you a heads up too, theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com, theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com. You can join that mailing list too. Because sometimes I just will communicate with people who express sole interest in prosperity and finances. So you can join that as well. Subscribe, share with a friend. Do me a favor, everybody, if you can, hit the thumbs up button. For some reason, it tells the YouTube world that, hey, astrology is an all right topic and we need to learn. So hit the thumbs up button for me. Subscribe, share with a friend even. And if you need me, feel free to give me a call. All right? Peace.